On the news this evening, stakeholders speak on ways to solve growing insecurity in Rivers State. Cattle rustlers still at large 2 weeks after stealing 16 cows from farm in Omerelu, Ikwere local government area. NBA again appeals for release of lawyer Okewale. President-elect Bola Tinubu Adamu hold closed-door meeting at Defense House. Federal government to spend $1.2 million to evacuate Nigerians from Sudan. On the foreign scene, President of Ukraine, China, holds first war phone call. I am Kalada Kurubatubo. Good evening. Remember, peace is the path to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. The leader of disbanded OSPAC in MOA local government area, Rivers State, Gift Ajuru, has opened up about the crisis that rocked in the community in MOA Rivers State 10 days ago. Mr. Ajuru, who was at the center of the crisis, tells our correspondent why he resorted to disarming 2 military officers during the clash over alleged proceeds from illegal oil refining activities in the community. Recall the resident fled the community after military officers besieged the area in search of the rifles that were taken from them by Mr. Ajuru. But the former OSPAC leader, who was later declared wanted by the Rivers State government for his alleged involvement in illegal oil refining in the community, claims the soldiers tried to kill him when he appealed to them to maintain peace in the area.
When I get to the bush to make peace with them, for them to release those people who they go for bush, they don't allow me to go close to them. 2 armed soldiers open fire on me until they empty their magazine. That is how I go close to them and took the gun to community. After 2 days time, Raman Lula and the others intervened to the matter and I carried the gun, submit to them. The local government chairman declared me wanted, while the young woman Trolai never declared that young woman wanted. I make peace for Emua local government, leading my community.
Mr. Ajuru denied any involvement in illegal oil refining activities. He said all his family's properties were destroyed by the military officers despite returning their rifles.
All the whole barrack within Emua local government, paying them 5 million. So after when they pay them the money, their boss enter inside the dump, then along the farm road. They see bike man way they carry people go farm. They will dump the bike, line the people in the bush, and order the bike carry product for them. That is what happened. My family nowhere to be found now. My 3-bedroom flat I built before I enter hospital. They don't burn them down. Today again, the soldier came back and pour my things.
Mr. Ajuru denied any involvement in illegal oil refining activities. Mr. Ajuru also spoke on why he believes the chairman of MOA local government area, Chidi Lloyd, wanted him arrested and prosecuted.
I don't get oven, I don't get point. Ask about OSPAC commander at Ndele. Don't have oven, I don't have point. Because he asked me to go and look after that young man blocking the road at Elevrodai. I said that I won't go because when I came back from OSPAC training, I fight for the community, fight for the East-West road. Tell the man that I'm not going anywhere. That's why the hatred come out. One way I walk, me and my boys walk before. Government not the compensator. Local government not the compensator. Community says not after us. That's why the young man after me.
In another development, Uche Ajuru, a widow in Indele community in MOA local government area, says her home was burnt down by a member of the disbanded OSPAC in the community, Owuchika Egbo. Mrs. Ajuru says the incident happened on December 18, 2022. She said Mr. Egbo accused her of being a government informant in the fight against illegal oil refining in the community, an allegation she denies.
For 5-6 months now in my community, I am already out away for the community because of OSPAC man, Obuchika Ebu. So I am informer for the bunkre. I don't know meaning of informer for the bunkre. The government didn't give me anything on security of the pipeline. They will come my house and burn all my property on my husband's house, both my children, both everything. As I'm standing here with my children, I don't know where I am.
Mrs. Ajuru says she has reported to the police and the traditional institution in Indele community and is yet to get any response. She's appealing to the Rivers State Governor, the MOA local government chairman and NGOs to come to her aid as she is currently stranded. When contacted, both the traditional institution and the police promised to respond with adequate information. Mr. Egbo has not spoken on this. Moving on. It has been over 2 weeks since a group of cattle rustlers stole 16 cows from a farm in Mwogwo, Omerelu in Ikwere local government area. The hoodlums are yet to be caught and the stolen cows are still missing. The incident took place on the 7th of April at 1 a.m. The owner of the farm, Chimela Wala, tells our correspondent that the hoodlums were 4 in number and were accompanied by a boy. He said he had put the cows up for sale before they were stolen.
No one has been arrested. I've even gone as far as Commissioner of Police office. I've listened to the Commissioner of Police. I've gone to his office. I saw him when they were preparing for elections, and he said I should come back the next week. He will give the case to his people to handle. But before then, I now met the South House and South East Chairman of Navy Allah. His name is Aldo Peter. So I met with him at Elele Barracks. He's the River State Chairman of Navy Allah. He is there. So I met with both of them, and they said I should give them time. Let them investigate from within their place and see if they can come up with the people that did it.
On his part, the Chief Security Officer of Ikwere Local Government Area, Dixon Ngwamahum, said some herders in the neighboring Eche Local Government Area reported that they saw some herders taking some cows to Abia State through the forest.
Since last week, I'm retracing down to Che. So we moved from Ikwere local government here. We pass through Omademe, then enter also from Ozozo. We pass through Amechem, go to Olakwa side and Okehi. We get one robber towards the Kehi side that we went. We saw some Funani, those cattle here, and now trying to ask them if at all they see so cow have the so design. One said yes, but he did not look the mark where they are heading towards the Abia State. So we are still searching since then. Up to this time, we have not seen the cow.
Meanwhile, the CDC chairman of Omerelu community, Wadikom Ezekiel, is appealing to the public to join hands in helping them find the stolen cows.
A young growing boy in my community for the first time brought in cows to train, and they're ready to make sure that it develops and to bring in slaughter in order to bring up the community. But all of a sudden, Goodlands went and pushed down the wall out of 19 cows. And they have to remove 16 out of the wall. Till then, we have been searching, we have reported to the security agents. So now we want to appeal to those who are concerned or to any person or body that have come across to give us useful information and a way to get back the cows.
In another development, the growing insecurity and supremacy battle between cold groups, other criminal activities in Diob, in Goshimini, as well as Ubeta community in Outer West Local Government Area, which has left some people dead, have left residents of River State concerned. The resurfacing insecurity situation has led stakeholders speaking on ways to prevent it from escalating to what was seen in 2016. Speaking on this, former chairman of Ogba Egoma Indone Local Government Area, Osi Olisa, said the insecurity situation in Onelga was brought to an end because everyone was involved. He advised against politicizing insecurity.
The thing about fighting insecurity is that you must have the political will to confront it headlong. You must have the political will to confront it headlong. And the one thing that is fundamental in fighting insecurity is that you must not play politics with the fight against insecurity. Because majority of these boys who are engaged in those nefarious activities are people who are members of one party or the other. He may even be, the person may even be a member of your own party that is trying to create problem within the system without necessarily intending it. Because most of them act in ignorance. So if you must fight insecurity at the short run, which is trying to suppress it, it means that you must not look at any person's face.
Mr. Olisa called on the government at all levels to create a policy that will meaningfully engage the youths and take them out from the streets. He said insecurity is fueled by the increasing level of unemployment in the society, which he believes the security agencies have little or nothing to do about.
Stopping insecurity means taking a lot of young men and women out of the labor market, that's out of the street. It's a popular saying that an idle head is the devil's workshop. So these boys are idle. They become a ready and available tool for friendly spirit to use to demonstrate some devilish activities. So what you have to do is putting them in productive ventures, making them to work, to as a living. So that energy that is being wrongly dissipated, wrongly channeled towards committing crime and criminality in the name of secret court and other related vices will now be consulted and properly channeled into doing some consulting work that will make the person to contribute to the economy of the society, to be useful to the society, and also be useful to himself and his family.
Similarly, a security expert, Efe Wanogo, has urged security agencies in the state to carry out a trend analysis of the criminal activities and court clashes in different parts of the state. Mr. Wanogo, in an interview with our correspondent, said it is difficult to tackle crime without identifying the root cause.
You cannot successfully fight a crime that you don't understand. You need to have a thorough and absolute understanding of the nature of the crime and those who fear the crime, knowingly or inadvertently. It's only when you have this understanding that they are able to tackle the crime and make sure that they fight it definitively. Without that, they're not able to make any progress. So you have all manner of reports that goes to different parts of security agencies, police control room, divisions, and what have you. There's something called a trend analysis, and I believe that the intelligence unit of the police and other agencies would have been monitoring the trend of such crimes that are not normal occurrences that are creeping into the body policy of the state, and then they can tackle the menace.
Now, the president of the Nigerian Bar Association, Yakubu Maikiao, has again appealed for the release of senior advocate of Nigeria, Okewale, who has now spent 9 nights in captivity. Recalled that the 64-year-old lawyer was kidnapped after his convoy came under the abductors' attack along East-West Road in Obiakpo local government area of Rivers State on the 17th of April. Mr. Maikiao, in an email he sent to lawyers yesterday night, urged his abductors not to cause him any harm or allow him to be hurt in any way. Still ahead, federal government to spend $1.2 million to evacuate Nigerians from Sudan. Stay tuned as we go for a quick break. From Okuta, the governor was accompanied by the governor-elect Minalai Fubara and other government officials. Some candidates sitting for the 2023 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination have continued to speak on the technical issues they are experiencing. Our correspondent who visited 2 exam centers, Uniport Basic Unit and Harsh Grove centers, reports that candidates were not allowed into CBT halls at the exact time allocated to them by the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board due to network issues. Some of the UTME candidates.
I didn't experience any system error. I answered all my questions and submitted. The problem was the delay. I was supposed to write by 12, but we ended up writing by 3.
When I started the exam, they're showing me processing redefined. At first, I thought it was just system stuff. I waited there for like 2 minutes. I raised my hand up and they switched the system. I opened it again. The same problem, processing redefined. Then I grew angry. I was like, people are writing, I'm not writing.
The system was okay. Everything was okay. I just wrote the exam and came out successful.
Literally, this year I've not yet heard any complaint about the system shutting down, but last year myself encountered it because the system shut down like 30 minutes before my time finished. It made me to repeat JAM again this year. I'm really hoping for a good network and a good system.
Some of them also recounted similar issues during their mock exams.
The only problem we had was that we wrote late. We were meant to write by 7, but we wrote around 4. And getting home was very, very late. And the 12 o'clock set didn't write that day. I think it's a network issue. So writing processing error.
In my center, there was network issue. I was for 9 o'clock, but I stayed here to like around 3. And 7 a.m. people wrote, I think like around 2 or 3. And then we the 9 had to wait for them. Well, I don't know, but I'm hoping that it doesn't turn out to be how my JAM mock was like.
About 1.6 million candidates are sitting for the UTME exercise, which will end on May 2. In other news, the Federal High Court in Abuja has dismissed the suit that APC candidate Senator Aisha Ahmed Binani filed to be affirmed the winner of the governorship election that was held in Adamawa State. The judge, Justice Inyang Eko, dismissed the suit following a notice of discontinuance filed by Senator Binani. The federal government says it is procuring 40 buses for the evacuation of Nigerians trapped in war-torn Sudan. The Minister of Foreign Affairs, Geoffrey Onyema, who said this today after the Federal Executive meeting, said these buses are expected to cost the government $1.2 million. He said the government will evacuate citizens in days amid a 72-hour ceasefire in Sudan. According to him, the government has concluded talks with the Sudanese government and they are on the same page. In business, the Colleges of Education Academic Staff Union has spoken out against the exclusion of lecturers and other tertiary institution workers from the 40% salary increase by the federal government. President of the union, Smart Olugbeko, in a statement said the action is an attempt by the federal government to divide Nigerian workers and cause confusion within the system. In entertainment, Hollywood actor Vin Diesel says Calm Down, a song by Afrobeat singer Rema, is currently his favorite track. In sports, a man has died shortly after completing the London Marathon in under 3 hours.
And now, we bring you news from around the world.
Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky says he has had a long and meaningful phone call with China's President Xi Jinping. It is their first contact since Russia's war began. Mr. Zelensky said on Twitter he believed the call, along with the appointment of an ambassador to Beijing, will strengthen bilateral relations between both countries. China has confirmed the call, saying it always stood on the side of peace. On the news this evening, you heard stakeholders have spoken on ways to solve the growing insecurity in Rivers State. Cattle rustlers are still at large 2 weeks after stealing 16 cows from a farm in Omerelu, Ikwere local government area. NBA has again appealed for the release of lawyer Okewali. President-elect Bola Tinubu and APC National Chairman Adamu Abdullahi hold closed-door meeting at Defense House. Federal government says it will spend $1.2 million to evacuate Nigerians from Sudan. On the foreign scene, presidents of Ukraine, China hold first war phone call. The news was edited by Martha Okeri. Mostly cloudy weather in Port Harcourt this evening. Remember, peace is the path to the prosperity and development of any nation. Let peace reign. I am Kala Dakurubatubo. Good evening. Hard facts with Dai continues. Stay tuned.